Okay, we will start the session now. In the last lecture, we have taken the problem on structural analysis and bar under axial load. So for this particular lecture, we'll be taking the problem on again structural field, but where we have a spring problems. Okay, so let's start now. So the problem is determine the displacements.
Audible, sir. Your voice is breaking.
Determine the displacement. Determine the displacement at nodes. Determine the displacement at nodes and find support reactions and find support reactions. Okay, am I audible? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is our problem. Determine the displacement at the nodes. Okay, we need to calculate the displacement at the nodes and we need to calculate the support reactions. Okay, so you will get the reactions where we have a structure fixed. Okay, so point where structure is fixed. Okay, at those points only we will get reactions, right? So let's see this problem. Okay, so this is basically the fixed support we have. To this particular fixed support, we have spring. This is a spring which is having a stiffness K1. Obviously, the spring will be having stiffness K1. Okay. To this particular spring, what they have done is they have attached one more spring. Okay. This is a one more spring which they have attached. Okay. And also here they have attached one more spring. Okay. So let this spring be K2. This spring is K2. And let this spring be K3. So this is K2, this is K3. Okay. Now to this K3, they have attached one more spring. Okay, they have attached one more spring. Okay, and further, and let me call that spring as K4. This is K4, and other end of the K4 they have make it fixed. Other end of the spring they have make it fixed. Now what they have done, the point where K3 and K4 it is connected. So this is basically the point where they have applied the load 200 kilonewton. This is the force which is applied, and at this free end they have applied 100 kilonewton. They applied 100 kilonewton. Okay, and they're asking to take the value. Okay, so take value of K1 is equal to 100 Newton per mm. Okay, then K2 it is given 300 Newton per mm. 300 Newton per mm. Okay, then this K3 is given as, I will write down here, K3 is given as 150 Newton per mm, and K4 it is given as 200 Newton per mm. 200 Newton per mm. So these are the values which are given, right? So you can see we have 4 springs. We are connected to each other. Okay. Also they are fixed at some ends, and also they have applied some loads, and values of the stiffness of the spring as well as the load which has been applied, it is given. Okay. Now they are asking to calculate what is the displacement at the nodes. Okay. So we need to calculate what are the displacements at the nodes, and also we need to calculate the reactions. Okay. Now let me know how to proceed with the problem. Okay. Let me know how we can start with the solution of the problem. Can you let me know? Okay, how shall we proceed with the solution of the problem? Okay, so see, very basic step to start with the solution is the discretization. Right? So where we are supposed to discretize the entire system. Okay, so discretization is the process of dividing entire domain into number of subdomains. Okay, what are the subdomains? They are nothing but the parts. So single system, you need to break it into parts. So there are certain criteria for discretization. Okay, so first criteria is change in cross section, then change in material, then point where they applied the force. At that point, you form the node. So these are the criteria. Okay, but if you can see, this problem belongs to spring. Okay, so every spring is an element. Try to understand. Every spring is an element. Okay, so what I will do is I will just redraw this diagram. Okay, I will just redraw this diagram. See, this is a fixed support. Okay, this is a fixed support. I will just redraw this diagram. So this is our stiffness. Okay, this is K1. This is K1. Okay, then this is K3, right? This is K2, right? Then this is K4. This is K4. Okay. Here it is fixed. Here it is fixed. Here they applied load 200 kilonewton. Here they applied the load 100 kilonewton. Right? So this is a diagram which are drawn again. Right? This is a diagram which are drawn again. Now what we are supposed to do here is, as I told you, what is the discretization? It's how we need to divide it. Okay, so as I told you, every element, every spring is an element, right? Every spring is an element. So what we'll do? See, this is element number 1. Okay, this I will call it as element number 1 because it is K1. So I will call it as element number 1. This is K2. So I will call this as element number 2. Right? This is K3. I will call this as element number 3. This is K4. I will call this as element number 4. Right? So element number 1, 2, 3, 4. We are having 4. We are having 4 elements because we are having 4 springs. Right? 4 elements means we are having 4 springs. Right? Now, once we assign the numbers to the elements, so next step will be to assign the numbers to the nodes. Right? We need to assign the numbers to the nodes. So basically, I will start moving from left towards right. Right? So I will see, if you can see this, just if you just assign this point basically connects element number 1 to the fixed support. Right? This point, it connects element number 1 to the fixed support. I will call this as node number 1. If you can see this point where the 3 elements are connected, I will call this as node number 2. Okay. Similarly, if you just see this point where force is applied, I will call this as node number 3. If you just see this point, it's a connection between these 2 elements. So I will call this as node number 4. And if you just see this point where element number 4 is connected to the fixed support, I will call this as node number 5. Try to understand. See, these are the nodes which are numbered in the green color. Node number 1, node number 2, node number 3, node number 4, node number 5. So nodes are basically the connection between elements and the fixed supports, right? So that is what is done, right? Now see, once we have it, see, we have numbered the elements, then we have numbered the nodes. So next step will be, okay, so our next step will be, okay, to write down the value of element matrix equation. Okay, element matrix equation. So this is very important, element matrix equation. So I will write down element matrix equation. Okay, so element matrix equation. Element matrix equation. That is basically I used to write down these as EME. Try to understand. Element matrix equation. For this is a spring, na? For spring is given by, for a spring, okay, equation simply you have stiffness K, okay, this is to be multiplied by 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, right? 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 into displacement, that is u1 u2 is given by force, that is F1 F2, is given by force, that is F1 F2, right? So this is our element matrix equation, right? So see, what does element matrix equation say? It's a stiffness multiplied by 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, u1 u2 is equal to F1 F2, right? So if you just see this particular term, it is called as a stiffness matrix, right? When you multiply it by displacement, it will give you the value of force, right? It will give you the value of force. We are interested to calculate the value of U, okay? Provided we know the value of K and F. Okay, so until and unless you apply the force, you will not get a displacement, right? Until and unless you apply the force, you will not get a displacement. So F, it is required to be entered, then only you will get the value of U, right? Now what we will do, we will write down the value. Now we will start calculating the element matrix equation for element number 1. Okay, so let's start doing that. Okay, so let's start with the calculation for element stiffness matrix for element number 1. So let's do that. Okay, so now I will start. Stiffness matrix for element number 1. Stiffness matrix for element number 1 is given by stiffness matrix for element number 1 is given by K of element number 1. K of element number 1 is K1, and that is 100, right? So it is 100 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. I don't understand. I'm writing the stiffness matrix for element number 1. Okay, I'm writing for element number 1, right? So for element number 1, this is element number 1. What is the value of K? It's K1, and that is nothing but 100, right? That is nothing but 100. So if you just multiply this 100 inside, what you will get? It's 100, right? Then you will get minus 100. Then you will again get minus 100 and 100, right? Minus 100 and 100, right? Just multiplied inside. Now, if you can see this element number 1, it is between node 1 and 2. It is between node 1 and 2. Okay. So you just number it like that. It is 1, 2, and this is 1. See, element number 1, it is between 1 and 2. So I written 1, 2, 1. It's simple thing, right? Now let's do the calculation for stiffness matrix for element number 2. Okay, so for stiffness matrix of element number 2, you see this is a element number 2 for which stiffness is K2, right? And what is the value of K2? It's a 300, right? So I will write down that 300 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, right? 300 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So E is equal to, so I'll just multiply it inside. 300 minus 300 minus 300 and plus 300, right? 300 minus 300 minus 300 plus 300, right? Now, if you can see this element number 2, it is basically between node 2 and 3. Right? Understand? It is between 2 and 3. So I will write down this 2, 3, and this is 2. It is between 2, 3, 2, 3, right? Now let's do this calculation for stiffness matrix. Okay, let's do this calculation for stiffness matrix of element number 3. Okay, let's do that. Stiffness matrix of element number 3. Stiffness matrix of element number 3 is given by, see, this is element number 3, where we have a stiffness as K3 and value of K3 is given as 150. So this is 150. Okay, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, right? 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So 150 just multiplied inside. So this is 150 minus 150 minus 150 and plus 150. Okay. So see, 150 minus 150 minus 150 and plus 1. Right. Now, if you can see this element number 3, which is basically between node 2 and 4. Okay, this is between 2 and 4. So I'll just write down here, this is 2, 4, and this is 2, 4. It is between node, see, element number 3, it is between node 2 and 4. It is between node 2 and 4. So that is what is written, 2, 4, 2, 4, right? Now we will go for the next term. Stiffness matrix of element number 4. Let's do that. Stiffness matrix of element number 4. Stiffness matrix of element number 4. See, this is element number 4, where we have a stiffness as a K4, right? This is K4, and value of K4 is 200. So I'll just write down that 200, okay, into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, right? 200 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So E is equal to, so just multiplied inside. This is 200, this is minus 200, this is minus 200 and plus 200, right? Plus 200. Okay, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1 like that. Now if you can see this element number 4, it is between 4 and 5. Okay, so just write down that 4, 5, 4, 5, right? So this is how we'll do that. Okay, so is that okay with this one? All of you, just let me know. Is that okay with this one? Is that okay? Is that okay with all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we will do now we will move to the next step. Okay. Now we have element stiffness matrices. We have element stiffness matrices. So next thing will be to go for, again we need to club it, right? We need to club all these matrices. See, this is written only for element number 1. This is written only for element number 2. This is written for element number 3. This is written for element number 4. But if you can see the nodes, see, if you can see the node 2, so at node 2, there will be the effect of element number 1, element number 2, and element number 3. You can see at node 2, these 3 elements are connected. So obviously at node 2, there will be the effect of all these 3 elements. Similarly, at node 4, there will be the effect of element number 3 and element number 4, and which we are supposed to consider. And that is the reason why we need to go for global matrices. Okay, so global matrices will take the effect, combined effect, okay, for all the nodes. So before going for the global matrices, okay, we need to determine what is the size. Okay, so we need to determine the size of global stiffness matrix. Okay, we need to determine the size of global stiffness matrix. So size of, as you know, the size of the global stiffness matrix will depend upon how many number of nodes we have. So it is number of nodes multiplied by, okay, the direction in which, or number of directions in which those nodes can move. So that is nothing but called as the degree of freedom. Okay, so into degrees of freedom per node, into degrees of freedom per node. So as we can see, if you just come back to the problem, you can see how many nodes we have. We have total 5 nodes. See, node number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 nodes, right? So I will just write down those. Okay, so we have 5 nodes, right? And every node can move only in one direction because you have applied the force only in X. So it will move only in X direction. That is, it will move only in one direction. Okay, so this is coming as 5. So obviously our size of the global stiffness matrix will be 5 by 5, right? So let's calculate the size. Okay, so this is a global stiffness matrix. I will write down global stiffness matrix. E is equal to now I should have 5 rows which are supposed to be multiplied by 5 columns. Okay, 5 rows and 5 columns. That is size, right? So I'll just make that. Okay. So this is, let's say this is node number, this is column number 1. Okay, this is 2. This is 3. This is 4 and 5. Right? Again, here we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Is that okay? All of you? Is that okay or not? I will just mark the rows and columns. Okay. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4 and 5, right? Now this is okay. So now what we will do is we will just pick every element and we will just place it in a global matrices. Okay, so let's start picking the element. Okay, let's start with these matrices. Stiffness matrix of element number 1. stiffness matrix of element number 1. See, it's a straight matrix like 1 2 1 2. So there is no problem. So just pick it. That means at 1 1 you put 100. At 1 1 you put 100. Okay. So see, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Right. So I'll put here 100. 100. So just side of that I will write on minus 100. Here I will write down minus 100, and here I will write down plus 100. Right. See, 100 minus 100 minus 100 plus 100. Right. Now just see this one. 2 3 2 3. Okay. Just see this term. 2 3 and 2 3. 2 3 2 3. Your starting is 2 2. So at 2 2 we need to write down 300. So this is 2. This is 2. So I will write down here plus 300. Okay. So I will write down here plus 300. Right. So at 2 2 I will write down plus 300. Just side of that minus 300. Then here try to understand 300 minus 300 minus 300 and plus 300. Right. See, 300 minus 300 minus 300 plus 300. See, that is it. Now go for K3. K3. See, this is somewhat, it's not straightforward matrix. It's 2 4 and 2 4. Okay. So here we need to take some care. Okay, while putting the matrices. So it's better that you just go element to element wise. So at 2 2, see, try to understand. At 2 and 2 you put 150. This is 2. This is 2. So I will put here plus 150. Try not to understand. At 2 2 it's 150. So at 2 2 it's 150. Then at 2 4 it is minus 150. This is 2. This is 4. This is minus 250. Minus 150. Right? See, 150 minus 150. So at 2 4 you put minus 150. That is what is written. Minus 150. Right? Now at 4 2. 4 2 you put minus 150. This is 4. This is 2. I'll put minus 150. Then at 4 4 you put 150. This is 4. This is 4. I will put 150.
2 4 पे क्या आएगा?
Right? So this is how we will work. Right? See, 150 minus 150 minus 150 150 like that. You can see this matrices which is appearing here. Right? Now just go for 4 5 4 5. It's a straightforward matrix. Right? So just get the starting point. At 4 4 you put 200. Right? So at 4 4 you just put 200. Okay. So I'll just put that. So at 4 4, just see this one. This is 4. This is 4, right? 4 4. So I'll put here 200. Just side of that I will put minus 200. Here I will put minus 200, and here I will put 200. Here I will put 200. Right? Now see, a basic care which you are supposed to take so as to check whether the whatever the global stiffness matrix that you got is correct. Okay. So how to check that your global matrix is correct? For that, just go here. So at node 2, try to understand. At node 2, 3 elements are connected. So you can see at node 2, that means at 2 2 we are getting 3 terms. At 2 2 we are getting 3 terms. Okay. That means at node 2 the 3 elements are there. Similarly, if you go to node 4, there are 2 elements. So if you go here at 4 4, you are getting two terms. That means, okay, there will be the effect of 2 elements, and here there is the effect of 3 elements. So this is how we can check. Right? Now, if you see the cells where we have blank, okay, so in those cells we need to put that value, okay, as 0, right? That value should be put as a 0, right? So we will put that value as a 0. This is 0. This is 0. This is 0, right? This is 0, 0, 0. Similar case will happen here. 0, 0. Is that okay? So rest of the terms I will make it at 0. So this is what our global stiffness matrix is, right? Now what we will do is, okay, now we have global stiffness matrix. Okay. So our next step will be to go for the calculation of the primary variables, right? Like displacements. So here I will write down the global matrix equation. Okay, I'll just write down here the global matrix equation. Global matrix equation. That means I used to call this as GME. right? Global matrix equation. That is basically GME, global matrix equation. GME is given by, okay, what is our global matrix equation? Okay, that is nothing but a global matrix multiplied by displacement is given by force. Global matrix into displacement is given by force, right? So what we'll do now is we'll just write down that global matrix. Okay, so I'll just write down that global matrix here. Okay, so this is 100, then this is minus 100, 0, 0, 0. Then this is minus 100. This is 400, 400, 550, right? So this is 550. Then this is minus 300. Then minus 150. Then 0. Then 0, minus 300, 300, 0, 0, right? Then 0, minus 150, 0, 350, minus 200, 0, 0, 0, minus 200, and this is 200. Okay, so this is our global matrices. This is our global matrix, right? Okay, so this global matrices has to be multiplied by the primary variables like displacements. So these displacements, see, we have 5 nodes, so obviously we will have 5 displacements. So U1, U2, U3, U4, and U5. So that is what is the region. Okay, so there are 5 displacements. So E is equal to force. Okay, so obviously 5 forces: F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. Right. So these are the 5 forces which we have. Right. These are the 5 forces which we have. We need to solve this equation. Right. We need to solve this equation. So for solving the equation, what I will do, I will just put this diagram. I will just put this diagram in front of. Now you just let me solve this equation. Everything is in front of you. Just let me know how I should solve this equation. How I should solve this equation. Can anybody guess that how to solve it? How to solve that? Just see the diagram. Apply any boundary condition or not. Whatever is in the diagram that we are supposed to use, because that is basically the given data. So if you apply that given data properly, okay, you will be able to reduce the complex equation into some simplified form, right? So see, if you can see at the node 1, that is basically connection between fixed support and the element number 1. You can see node number 1, it is a connection between fixed support and element number 1. Okay, so at node 1, structure is fixed. So I will mark this displacement U1 as 0. So when U1 is 0, what happens is then that particular row, okay, and that particular column gets cancelled. You can see this first row, first column gets cancelled as U1 is 0. Similarly, if you can see node 5, again structure is fixed. So I will make U5 as 0. So when fifth row, U5 is 0, what happens is fifth row. Okay, this is basically the fifth row. And this is the fifth column will be get cancelled. So fifth row, see what we have in the 5, in the matrix of 5 rows and 5 columns. Okay, 2 rows are getting cancelled. So we are getting the 3 equations with 3 unknowns, right? So see or we can say the terms which you're supposed to calculate or unknowns are U2, U3, and U4, right? We need to calculate the value of U2, U3, and U4. So these are the unknowns. U2, U3, U4, they are the unknowns. Okay, provided we should enter the value of F2, F3, and F4. So if you are interested to calculate U2, U3, U4, F2, F3, F4 is to be entered, right? So F2, what is F2? It's the force applied at node 2. So at node 2, they haven't applied any force. So I'll put this as a 0. Now, if you go at node 3, they have applied 100. They have applied 100. So I will write down that as 100. But if you check with the units, try to check. This is in kilonewton, 100 kilonewton. But the stiffness is in Newton, right? Stiffness is in Newton. What we have taken. See, we can say, you can check the stiffness we have taken in Newton, 100. Okay. So what we need to do, this kilonewton has to be converted into Newton. Okay. So that is the only thing which we are supposed to do. Okay. So what I will do, I will just multiply it by 10 raised to power 3. So this becomes in Newton. Similarly, force applied at node 4. So this is the force which is applied at node is 200 kilonewton. So I will take this as 200 into 10 raised to power 3 Newton. Right? Now, what all of you can do is you can just solve this system of 3 equations, okay, with three unknowns. Okay, so all of you just solve these equations. Just solve these 3 equations with 3 unknown. So you will get the value of U2. Okay, so you will get the value of U2, U3, and U4. Right? So we want those values. Okay, we need U2. Okay. Similarly, we need U3. Similarly, we need U4. And these values we should be able to calculate. So just do these calculations and let me know what answers we get. All of you just do this calculation and let me know the answers. So for those who are not able to solve it, see, this is A1, B1, C1, D1. When you solve it in a calculator, A1, B1, C1, D1, A2, B2, C2, D2, A3, B3, C3, and D3. So these are the values which we should put. Okay. So just go to calculator, all of you, and you just check how I'm doing that. So just, okay, what do? You just go to mode, okay, and you can check here. Okay. You just check here the system of 2 equations, 3 equations with 3 unknowns. Just check that. You can see this. Solve system equations, 3 unknowns. ANX plus BNY plus CNZ plus D is equal to. See, just start putting the value 550. Okay. After that, minus 300. After that, minus 150. Okay. After that, 0. Then we have minus 300. Then we have 300. Then we have 0. And that last value is 100 into 10 raised to power 3. Then this value is minus 150. Then this is 0. This is 350. Then this is 200 into 10 raised to power 3. 200 into 10 raised to power 3. You can check it. Right? So before solving, just try to check once whether you correctly enter the values in the cell properly. Okay? And then you can just solve it. And when you solve it, you can see the answer which we are getting. For U2 we are getting as 1000. And this is in mm. Go for U3. This is coming as 1,333.33. This is in mm. Go for U4. This is again coming as 1000 mm. So these are the answers which we got. Right? Is that okay to all of you? Right? Now see, what is the next step? Now we have got the displacements. Now further we need to calculate the reactions. So reactions are basically the points where the structure is fixed, right? So see, structure is fixed means displacement is 0, right? So reactions are the points where displacement is 0. So U1 is 0, so obviously the reaction will be F1, right? So let's calculate F1. How will calculate F1? First row by this column. First row by this column will give you F1. So let's start doing that. See, first row by this column. That means we need to do the multiplication element to element wise. So 100 into U1, right? 100 into U1. Okay, so U1 is 0. So this multiplication is 0. Next, minus 100 into U2. So that I will write down. Minus 100 into U2. That I will write down. So this is minus 100 into U2. Then 0 into U3. So that is 0. 0 into U4. That is 0. And 0 into U5. That is again 0. So is equal to F1. Is equal to F1. Right? Is equal to F1. So if you just put the values, okay. So this is minus 100 into U2 is again 100. U2 is 1000. So is equal to F1. Is equal to F1. So I will just write down the value of F1 is equal to F1 is equal to minus 100 into 10 raised to power 3. See, 1000 I will write down as 10 raised to power 3. And obviously this value will be Newton, right? This value will be Newton. So this is a reaction which we have got. This is the reaction which we have got, right? Now let's do for F5. F5. How will do that? Last row by this column, right? Last row by this column. So let's start doing that. 0 into U1 is 0. 0 into U2 is 0. 0 into U3 is 0. Then minus 200 into U4. That I will write down. Minus 200 into U4. See, minus 200 into U4 plus 200 into U5. But U5 is 0. So this is 0. So is equal to F5. Is equal to F5. Right? So is equal. So this is minus 200 into U4. U4. What is the value of U4? It's 1000. This is 1000. Is equal to F5. Is equal to F5. Right? So value of F5 is given by this is minus 200. This is minus 200. That is written into 10 raised to power 3. I will write into 10 raised to power 3. 1000 I will write down as 10 raised to power 3. Yeah. So these are the values which you got. Right. Now see, these are the reactions which you got basically. Now if you need to check whether our displacements are correct or not, so in that case, we need to calculate the condition of equilibrium, that is summation of forces in x direction. So that is basically F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4. Okay. So see, I will add all these forces plus F5. Okay. So F1 we have calculated minus 100 into 10 raised to power 3. Plus F2 is 0, plus F3, it's 100 into 10 raised to power 3, plus F4 is 200 into 10 raised to power 3, plus F5 is minus 200 into 10 raised to power 3, right? So if you just check with the summation of Fx, it will come as 0. It will come as 0. You can see this minus 10 and plus 10 gets cancelled. Plus 200 minus 200 gets cancelled. So summation of forces it is coming to be 0, right? So our condition of equilibrium is satisfied. That means our displacements which we have calculated are correct. Is that okay, all of you?
Okay, sir.
Is that okay, all of you, or not? Let me know. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see how we have started. The problem was given. So we have considered every spring as an element. Then we have numbered the element. Then we have numbered the node. Okay. After that, we have written the value of element stiffness matrices for spring. So this was the formula. Then this is basically the element stiffness matrix which we have written for every element. Okay, so we have written for every element. At the same time, we have numbered the nodes in the rows and columns. So for the rows and columns, we have given the numbers based on the nodes. Okay, now once we've done that, after that, we have determined the size of the global matrices. Okay, so after that, we have drawn the that matrices. Okay, and then what we have done, we just started to pick the every element stiffness matrices, and we have placed that in a global matrix. So this matrices we have picked, we have placed it here. This we have picked, we have placed it here. Then this 2, 4, this we have placed like this. See, this is 2, 4. Try to understand. This is 150, minus 150, minus 150, and plus 150. So this is how it is placed. This is this matrices we have placed it here. Now once we have global matrices, okay, we have written global matrix equation. So global matrix equation multiplied by primary variable is given by secondary variable, right? So in this equation, we impose the boundary condition, that is u1 is 0, u5 is 0. So what happens is that particular row, that particular column gets cancelled. So as a result of this, we are able to reduce this to the system of 3 equations with 3 unknowns. So now we are interested to calculate u2, u3, u4. So we have entered the value of f2, f3, and f4. These values we have taken, and this we have solved in a calculator. So we got these values of displacements. Now, how we have checked that our answers are right? Basically, we need to go for calculation of, or for the to satisfy the condition of equilibrium. And so for that, we should know the reactions. Now reactions are f1 and f5, because at those points only displacement is 0. So how we calculate f1? First row, first column. How we calculate f5? Last row, this column. So this is how we got f1 and f5. Now once we have those, we just we have checked it with the condition of equilibrium, and it was coming to be 0. That means whatever the values of displacement we have, they are correct. Okay. So is that okay to all of you with this?
Yes. How much mark this problem can get?
Is that okay, all of you?
Hello.
Is that okay to all of you?
The
Is it
problem
understood?
कितने
Yes,
marks का है?
sir.
Okay. So what we'll do, today we want to stop here, and in the next
Sir,
lecture we will take the problem thermal analysis. Okay.
सर टाइम हुआ नमस्कार
sir